festivals are really big. We do have kind of an indoor place at the Winnetou, but with the wind blowing and the rain blowing, it just seems like not a great concert experience for anybody. So no show tonight, but definitely a show tomorrow, 6 o'clock at Mashpee Commons. Even if it's raining, we move across the street from the bandstand into the music school, Steeple Street Music Academy. They have a performance space inside. So if the weather's not good for outside, we'll go inside. So definitely tomorrow
The weather
at
looks
6 o'clock.
great for tomorrow.
Wait,
Oh,
the weather looks good for.
the weather looks amazing for tomorrow. Perfect. It looks like that's life.
Avi Jacobs, he is Hawk in the Nest. He is our first performer for 8 weeks of shows here on as part of our summer concert series. Welcome to the Vineyard.
Thank you.
So glad to have you here.
Rich said that everyone will ask me if I've ever been here before. So
Have you ever
probably asked me?
Have you ever been here before?
I came here when I was 16 with
You
my
did.
friend. Yeah.
What'd you do? Just hang.
I attempted to meet women and I failed.
Did you have your guitar with you?
No,
Oh,
it wouldn't have helped at that point. I was pretty bad.
yeah. Do you have you've been here for half an hour and you've already mentioned that when you were a teenager you didn't think you were very good.
I didn't think I was not very good. I thought I was good actually.
Right.
That's part of what made me bad.
Yeah.
If you think you're really good and you're delusional, that's kind of the worst.
Right.
Sort of mix. And when you are young and full of hubris, then yeah, I was like a bad dashboard confessional, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's already spicy.
How did you rise above that?
I was humbled by the world.
Yeah.
And my ego was broken. And I suffered and grew.
Yeah.
And became aware of how bad I was, or sort of what I was saying. What was I even saying? What was I really putting out there?
Yeah.
So I had to become aware of that.
I mean, a lot of people don't recover from that. So that's amazing that you like have the resilience to like go, okay, I'm gonna get good. I'm gonna work on getting good.
I learned that from my father.
Yeah, he was a positive influence in that way.
Yes, he was like always doubting himself and always trying to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Did he impart that in words, or just did you learn that from observing?
Both.
Yeah. All right. I think that the most appropriate thing to do is to start with let everybody hear you, because can I say the thing that you said right beforehand, which is like people like talk to me and then they don't expect me to sing like I sing.
Yeah, they don't expect. Yeah, they think I'm goofy or whatever.
And your voice is beautiful, so I think everybody should hear what you do. This is Hawk in the Nest on MBY.
Woke up this morning, I was feeling lost. I settled down. There were costs I don't remember what it's like to feel like. Since I killed with a thrill all the last of those butterflies. Walked out the front door and I looked around. Someone shining, I put my feet on the ground and I saw one last little butterfly. And they said, oh, what are you expecting to find? With a nervous stomach, that's a warning sign. For a broken heart and a worried mind. Oh, Lord, even I'm trying. I feel you fluttering down in my bones. I wanna lay my head down and sleep like a stone. I'm begging you, darling, to just leave me alone. I've been planting milkweed and goldenrod for years on end. My hands are raw. You know I won't forget what we did last spring. But you break my little heart when you grab my guitar and sing. Oh, what do you expect to find with a nervous stomach? That's a warning sign. For a broken heart and a worried mind. Oh, life, giving up trying. Oh, what do you expect to find with a nervous stomach? That's a warning sign. For a broken heart and a worried mind. Oh, life, I've given up trying.
MV1 Radio, Hawk in the Nest live in the studio. He's performing at our summer concert series tomorrow night at Mashpee Commons at 6 o'clock. We're supposed to have a show tonight, but due to the rain, we are not going to have our show tonight at the Winnetou. We'll have a show next week, next Tuesday at the Winnetou in Katama. I'll say thank you to a couple sponsors because you want to tune. All right, we'll say thank you to people who have made this series possible, including the Winnetou Oceanside Resort, Mashpee Commons, Cape and Coast Bank, Falmouth Toyota, Steeple Street Music Academy, Knockabout Brewery, Martha's Vineyard Airport, Falmouth Academy, Pink Door Catering, Mashpee Fresh Market, Pathway Arts, the Steamship Authority, as well as every year for many years running, a generous gift from Brenda and Leon Brathwaite. Thank you guys for your support. Next week's show will be BL Patterson and Small Motors Music coming over from Falmouth to perform next Tuesday at the Winnetou in Katama at 6 o'clock, and then Wednesday on the 15th at Mashpee Commons. All good?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I wanted to ask you about heartbreak, because you write a lot about heartbreak. There are artists write about heartbreak. I think I would categorize two reasons. One is to convey something to the audience, or to explain something to themselves.
Totally. Yeah.
which of those two statements do you identify with, or is it both?
It's hard to say, right? Because so much of songwriting is subconscious, right? So
Sure.
what even are you getting at? But I definitely explain things to myself in terms of yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know how I feel about something sometimes until I write a song about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's how I feel. So it is sort of a gateway to my subconscious songwriting. Like I think maybe in general that's what it is. You know, like you could say, oh, it's from some sort of place in the world, some sort of spirit or energy comes in, but really it's probably your subconscious, right? So I mean, who knows? But I don't really believe in anything that science doesn't explain. So to me, it's subconscious stuff. It's all sort of in your deep brain, which is pretty magical in itself. Like, I mean, I think a lot of people I would get into maybe a debate with if somebody was like into astrology. You know, not that I have anything against astrology. It has seemed to be kind of wildly accurate for me, but I also don't believe in it.
Right.
So I would say, well, that doesn't have any bearing scientifically. That doesn't make
Mhm.
any sense, right? It makes sense that it would be like our brains and all of these things like God are an invention, but obviously I don't have the answer, but I would debate, someone that believed in those things.
Yeah.
Not that I want to dissuade them, but I just feel like we all need to talk about these things. There's too much subconscious that goes on, like in our society, like how much of patriarchy, capitalism, white supremacy, homophobia, how much of this colors our life
Yeah.
without even us sort of realizing it
Really
day to
knowing
day.
this or thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your it's a funny question to ask, but does your subconscious surprise you sometimes? Like,
Yes.
do things come out that you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that?
Yeah, for sure. I think, someone, there might be a relationship that ends. Like I had a breakup maybe 2, 3 months ago,
Mm,
and the relationship was a really positive relationship. It was a really um, healthy, relationship. We were friends and romantic, and there was never any animosity in the relationship.
mhm.
Everything was good. Yeah, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Just like many relationships, you just don't want to be with that person anymore, or they don't want to be with you, or whatever it is, or you want to be with someone else, whatever happens. So then when that person broke up with me, I was pretty surprised with the upset songs that came out of it,
Yeah.
like the indignant thing,
Yeah.
like, oh, you don't want, like, you don't want to be with me, well, but like, I'm amazing, or whatever, kind of the petty sort of ego things that come out,
Mhm.
kind of dark stuff too. I didn't real, kind of like a lot of the darkness of it, of the self doubts and the, I don't want to say self loathing, but certainly like um self uh doubts
Yeah.
uh of worthiness and things like that. I don't think about them, and then when someone breaks up with me, then it comes out, and so then I'll write a song like, well, I don't care about you anyways, and all these other things that
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this wasn't the way we related. I would never have had anything negative to say about this person, nor they about me to this day. Like
Mhm.
even now, like there's nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
But in that sort of dark space or whatever, I can be really angry and upset. And when I sing songs like that, I think people really. I've tried to be more like sort of Buddhist about everything in my day to day, but I do think people relate a lot to the darkness.
Sure. Yeah. All right. On the flip side of the darkness, I wanted to ask you. You have a kid, all right, and you've been a songwriter for a long time, and there was a time when you didn't have a kid, and then a kid comes into your life. Did that in any way affect your songwriting or your ideas about the world or empathy or what you should be writing about?
Yeah, pretty immediately, I would say. As soon as he was born, then I had a completely different outlook on life, which was that I no longer was the most important thing in my own life, in my own head. Um, Although, maybe my child would disagree with that of how
Yeah. Yeah.
who
Yeah.
knows, day to day things change, but I definitely was like, I was so obsessed uh, with my son when he was born that um, I did kind of all of my identity was sort of gone in a way. Like
Yeah.
my identity was this child,
Yeah.
was protecting this child, raising this child. I was like obsessed and anxious all the time. Um, but my son really helped my songwriting because I would play him music all the time to
Mhm.
soothe him, and he became very used to it. So it became part of our relationship was me playing music all the time for him every night to put him to sleep. And so then I ended up just playing so much more, and it really helped me improve as a picker and as a singer and a songwriter. Just having this time where every day, no matter what was going on, I was going to spend hours
Yeah.
performing because I was going to be doing it for him, to put him to calm him, to put him to bed, or just to bond with him, or just yeah, just to have it in the environment because I felt like it was a good thing to have in the environment,
Yeah.
playing an instrument and seeing that.
Can you do another song for us?
Sure.
Tell us what you're going to do. Tell us what we should know before we hear it, if anything.
I was talking about this one with Deb in the car, because it's called New England Woman, and it's about how much time everyone has to spend working. Everyone that works, obviously not billionaires and people with passive income, but any working class person um, doesn't make enough and doesn't have enough time with their families because we are all working to make up for the fact that the rich aren't taxed. So there's this huge pool of money getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we work harder and harder for lesser and lesser wages versus inflation just to support this parasitic billionaire class, and how there's a sadness to that, obviously, um, but I would say maybe a not a beauty, but there's something about being able to appreciate life in a way if you're a working person that those people will never have. That having to struggle does sort of, I don't want to romanticize struggle because obviously it's a lot different for a lot of people, and I have a lot of privileges myself, but I do think it breeds better people.
Yeah. What's the song called?
It's called New England Woman.
Hawk in the Nest on MVY.
Rig my back, Bethlehem, still in place. I work till I'm hungry, spend all my pay. Now a tall weeping pine is a sad sight to see. Your Mount Auburn, baby, is nothing to me. I can't get it out of my head how they can bleed a man dry. It keeps me to lay down in your arms when my work is done. New England woman, strap me to a rocket ship, blast me to space. I can't spend one more hour in this god awful place. Bouncing off walls, I'm crazy for room. Hoping the night will fall soft and come soon. I can't get it out of my head, no matter how hard I try. And it keeps me lay down in your arms when my work is done. New England woman, I was born to sing this song for you. The pain in my heart and a love so true. I'm caught in a riptide, my mind on the beat, grasping for something that's out of my reach. Boy with no town, it's hard to overcome. But God is this moment right here in your arms, and I can't get it all in my head. Lord knows I try, and it keeps me to lay down in your arms when my work is done. Laying back on my, laying back on my, laying back on my.
MBY Radio, Hawk in the Nest, performing live here in the studio. We were supposed to have a show today at 6 o'clock as part of our summer concert series at the Winnetou Oceanside Resort. Due to the weather, we are canceling tonight's performance. But tomorrow, Wednesday, at the Mashpee Commons Bandstand, he will be there to perform live. Let's talk about this Jane Pickens Theater thing that you're doing. You good?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm playing the Jane Pickens Theater. We're doing a full band Rolling Thunder review. We're trying to recreate it.
All right, let's start.
Let's
start with this, because some people don't know about Rolling Thunder
Oh,
Review.
sure. So in 1975, 1976, Bob Dylan did a tour to celebrate the bicentennial, and now it's the sesquicentennial or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's actually right.
Yeah.
And thank you for the options. I've been brought water.
Water. There you go. Look at that. It's just plain water.
It's not Is it sparkly?
No.
Perfect.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's in a can.
Water.
It's Stoke water. There.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. From I think Rhode Island.
I'm stoked to have it.
So the Rolling Thunder Review.
Yeah, so Rolling Thunder Review. So Bob Dylan went on sort of a crazy thing. It started. It's funny because he started it at did rehearsals and stayed at the Dreamway Lodge in Beckett, Mass. And I'm performing there on Friday night.
Oh wow!
With my trio. And there's pictures of him there on the wall. In that movie, Rolling Thunder Review, there's a scene where him and Joan Baez are talking, and she's like, he was like, he went off and you got married, and he's all high on the speed and whatever. And she's like, yeah, but I was in love or whatever. He's like, well, you thought you were in love. And they're having this debate, and you, in that moment, sort of realize like what Joan Baez had to go through as a woman in the 60s, dealing with Bob Dylan and his ego, and just sort of how much things have changed, I think, since then in some ways, and not in others. But the tour was amazing, and it was like not a variety show, but they had Ramblin' Jack Elliott, so we have a Ramblin' Jack Elliott. Then Joni Mitchell, we have artists that's doing Joni Mitchell songs, Joan Baez songs. T-Bone Burnett was playing, so there's a guitarist, and then Mick Ronson, who was in Ziggy Stardust. He was Ziggy Stardust in David Bowie's band. He was in the Rolling Thunder in Bob Dylan's band. So I've got like a person for every person.
Yeah.
And we're doing it, full band over the night, and I'm Bob Dylan.
Awesome.
Because
you're gonna do the makeup and everything.
I am gonna do the makeup. I have the outfit already.
Amazing.
I'm not going to do an impression like that bad impression I just did.
I like that impression, but go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm sort of, the performances are, I would say, I don't know, every artist is different. Some other artists are leaning more towards doing it sort of how the original person did it. And because my voice is just so different than Bob Dylan's, that I'm not going to try to sound like him. I think that would hurt my throat.
Yeah.
Not that I think his voice is amazing.
Yeah.
I love Bob Dylan's voice, and I think it's it's funny that a lot of people, like my mother, will be like, "Oh, this is terrible." I made a record when I was young, and she was like, "Oh, you sound sort of like Bob Dylan," and I was like, "Thanks," and she's like, "He had a terrible voice."
Moms are the best.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
Okay, when is this show?
So I'm doing the songs more like I would do them.
Yeah.
There's the spirit of Bob Dylan, but I'm singing them pretty, or my attempt at pretty.
Yeah.
That is July 21st.
Okay.
Tuesday. In 2-ish weeks.
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today. Yeah. 2-ish weeks, 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. My goal is that, it would be something that you could see um, in New York City or Los Angeles. It's in Newport. Like,
Yeah.
not that Newport isn't great in its own, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be like a local performance.
Yeah.
It's everyone is that's playing is great, and um, I've been working a lot at it, a lot of words and stuff, and so pretty much doing the songs that they did on Rolling Thunder. It'll be a bit shorter because Rolling Thunder was like 3.5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds awesome. Before we go, you have time for one more?
Yes.
Do you
Do I
need
have
do
a
you need
few
to
seconds
tune?
to tune?
Yeah, you have a few seconds to tune. So I'll remind everybody that we did have to cancel today's performance at the Winnetou Oceanside Resort in Katama. A lot of there are places where puddles and roads are closed and the wind is blowing. So even there is a covered up place at the Winnetou, but I think with the wind blowing, it's just not going to make for a nice show. Tomorrow, however, Mashpee Commons at the bandstand, 6 o'clock. Hawk in the Nest, who's here with me today, will perform live. And then we'll be back next week, Tuesday, at the Winnetou, Tuesday the 14th, with BL Patterson and Small Motors Music. But free shows, if you want to go to our website, mvyradio.org, and look under the events tab, you can see the lineup for the entire summer of all the great performers that we have coming. When you are ready to tell me, what are you going to do for this final song?
So I heard about this thing this year for the first time called the New England Songwriting Contest from y'all actually.
Yeah,
And I won the best folk Americana song for this song, which is called Hawk in the Nest, um, which is also my artist name and the name of my last album that you can hear on streaming or buy on Bandcamp would be even better.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, because if I think if I I I had one thing that in my mind sounded really cool, so I was like, I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna make a song with this.
The album. Yeah.
I'm gonna put this on T-shirts, and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna change my name, start performing from Javi Jacob to Hawk in the Nest because it really said to me, it just like struck me.
Yeah.
Because I wrote it because I was in Brooklyn and I saw a hawk in the backyard, which I did not expect to see in Bed-Stuy, and I was just struck by it and feeling heartbroken over a breakup,
Mm-hmm.
which is my default setting, and so then sort of I had a melody in my song from my dream, and then it just came out, and I wrote it all like at this quiet volume, because the walls are paper thin and people like right next to me, and I went out to the stoop. I was working on the song at like 6:30 in the morning on the stoop in Bed-Stuy. People passing me like, "What the fuck?" Sorry.
Sorry. Keep going.
What the heck? Sorry. Um, and I knew there was another verse, a last verse that would kind of complete it all. And I had to get to work in Midtown. So I was packed on the G line, and getting really anxious about it because it was one of those packed commuter trains where you don't have to worry about falling.
Right.
You're packed like sardines, unless everyone falls. You become this one organism.
Yeah.
Which makes me very anxious. And so then I was in my head just going over the song over and over, and then I wrote the last verse, sort of completed it all.
All right. Hawk in the Nest, doing Hawk in the Nest on MVY.
Wanna be a hawk in the nest, spend all day hiding, come home to your breast. I don't mind fighting, it's better than fear. We can really breathe up there. There's nothing left to gain. Still I'm drawn to you like a moth to a flame. Who's a glutton for pain? But I just wanna call out my name. tired of telling lies to cover up this hurt. I wouldn't mind dying if I lived honestly. At home on the ground, like a fish in the sea. She got nothing else to say. Staring at your phone to distract from the pain. But those are words on a screen. I need your love to be here. I wanna be a clear mountain spring, deep in the heart of every living thing. Oh, let me be the teardrops that roll down your face, or the muscle and bone, keep everything in place.
MVY Radio, Avi Jacobs, Talk in the Nest. Our first performer this summer for the MVY Radio Summer Concert Series. We are canceling tonight's show at the Winnetou Oceanside Resort in Katama, but he will be at the Mashpee Commons Bandstand tomorrow at 6 o'clock for a free show. So do come out and hang with us. Thank you so much for those beautiful click. Great to have you here.
Thanks for talking to me.
All right. Absolutely. All right. We'll see you tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at the Mashpee Commons on MVY.